Welcome, everybody, to a special Valentine's Day episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast, where we discuss and celebrate our favorites in TV and film. I am your host, Xavier, and today I have the distinct pleasure of being joined by the regular Popcorn Watchlist panelists, but we're going to be talking about a special movie that we got around to watching for Valentine's Day. And it was a movie that two of our panelists, I believe, had never seen before. So it was great to see their reaction. And so today is going to be getting Zach and Danny's reactions around the 1999 classic. I would call it a modern classic, She's All That. She's All That stars the great Freddie Prinze Jr. and Rachel Lee Cook. You also have some other actors that you may have seen in a whole bunch of other things over here. First and foremost, the late great Paul Walker, rest in peace. We also have Matthew Lillard, Kieran Culkin, who's now blown up with Succession, Anna Paquin, if you guys like True Blood, and what was that other movie where X-Men. What was the movie where she flew away with swans or whatever it was?
Fly Away Home, yeah.
Yeah. Eldon Henson from Daredevil, but Anthony and I also know him from Mighty Ducks. Exactly. Dule Hill from Psych. Gabrielle Union, also known as Dwayne Wade's wife. And who else am I missing? And Bring It On.
You're missing Little Kim and Usher.
Dude, I was getting to Little Kim and Usher. Dude, you mean Usher Raymond?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, surprisingly, like for a 90s movie, it had some, some solid actors and some up-and-comers too. I mean, Kevin Pollak as Lainey's dad.
Clea Duvall. You had I don't remember this guy's name, but the Shermanator from the American Pie movies.
Oh, yeah. Was he one of the bullies?
Yeah, he's one of the two bullies that had to eat the nasty pizza.
He had to eat the nasty pizza, which we'll get to in a bit. I know we're going down the cast here.
And then you had a couple of cameos, one by Sarah Michelle Gellar, Freddie Prinze Jr.'s wife.
Yeah. Look at that.
And also a cameo by Milo Ventimiglia.
Oh yeah,
Milo
he was one of the guys.
Ventimiglia.
He was one of the guys that was cleaning the house, right? I think they showed him for like
one of the JV soccer team, I guess, or whatever. Yeah.
JV. That's right. Yeah, because Freddie Prinze Jr. plays
soccer player.
He's just a soccer player.
Even though he didn't appear as a soccer player, he just appeared as a student.
Peter Petrelli.
Goes from She's All That to This Is Us. Look at that coming full. Just three word projects coming now full circle.
Heroes was one word, so
yeah, it's went 3 to 1.
He upgraded.
He's been in a whole bunch of other stuff randomly, but I remember there was a random point. Like, what was the inspiration, Danny, to like just hey, let's watch She's All That? Was it like I think because it's just something like on a whim, like I'm gonna watch this to say I watched it?
Well, I think the day that we put it on, my girlfriend wanted to see a rom-com. So she was like, oh, let's do this one. I used to love this movie all the time. So I think we started watching it, and then Zach and Anthony came early to the episode while we were recording, and then you guys started watching it. Like, we got halfway through, and then X came in.
We might as well finish it.
And it's like, oh, might as well finish it. And so we saw the whole thing. And then I think now Zach saw it again for the second time. So
yeah, man, he had that research.
Because I watched when I watched it
I think you got there like halfway.
To your house.
Yeah.
No, it was earlier. It was
like 40 minutes in, and I got in like at 50 minutes in.
Yeah.
It was like that slam poetry thing or whatever they were doing, or that whatever that was.
The guy at the
yeah, that was where I walked in on. I think
you're like, what are you guys watching?
You're like, why is Fred from Scooby Doo here doing this? At least he didn't say Wing Commander. God.
Key sec.
But it was a introduction to some rom-com
90s rom-coms. Yeah, one thing I'll have to say about this movie, that's why I was really excited for you guys to watch it, is that like this movie is very much a movie of its time.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
Like I know Zach gets like kind of like iffy and kind of funny with 80s movies, but like this is a straight up like this is like encapsulate like more so than like even beyond Clueless. Like this is like an ultimate like 90. There's like an ultimate like amalgamation of all the things that were cool or like around in the 90s. Like there's real world references. There's like random group dances, like the stuff that people drive, what people wear, that people listen to,
the phrases that they say.
I got the phrases. There are some phrases, man. I don't know that, like, who wrote some of Paul Walker's lines, but I'm just there's
God.
no way no one ever said that.
They were probably improv.
They had to be. No way, dude. There's no way someone really says, what did he say at the beach? Bazoingies? Like
Oh, his bobos?
Bonobos.
Bonobo.
Which is now like a clothing brand, or it's a sock brand.
This definitely would not be made today.
Look at the bobos on Laney or whatever.
The Bobos on Laney.
Oh my
Like,
god.
she got something under there. I was like, oh my god.
Bobos on Super Freak. That's what he said.
On Super
the
Freak.
Bobos
Yes,
on Super
Bobos on Super
I wrote
Freak.
it down. That was one of my notes. I was like, who says this?
Oh my! So, like, overall, like the whole conceit of the movie is basically, if you haven't seen this movie, we might be going into spoiler territory for a 25-year-old movie.
Spoilers.
But the movie is basically a modern telling of the classic play Pygmalion, where somebody basically gets dared, or takes a challenger bet to take someone that's basically like social outcast or ugly and turn them to like the life of the party, or in this case prom queen. And all goes on because Freddie Prinze Jr. Zach, he's dating like the ultimate, like, most popular girl in school. He's not your typical jock. He's a soccer player, but so he's kind of a jock, but it's just not the football jock that you're used to. And his girlfriend leaves him for like a washed up reality star played by Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, but he's also not your typical jock because he said he had like the 4th highest GPA in the school or something like that. And he was
also true.
And he's the school president, like, so he normally
He's smart. He's just kind of a dick.
Yeah, normally in these 90s or 80s movies, the jock is always like the biggest jerk and also really
idiot.
stupid. But like, at least in this movie, like, yeah, he's kind of a jerk, but he's also like, he's actually smart, and he should be going to whatever college he wants. But that was like one of the issues in the movie.
Yeah, and so he's trying to get all that situated. Everything's leading up to prom. His girlfriend dumps him. His dad's pressuring him to go to Dartmouth. Like, that man, like, every other word he says out of his mouth is Dartmouth. And it's just like, you need to stop.
That was his goal.
At the same time, he decides, oh man, like, Paul Walker character Dean just says, oh, I'll pick the person that you have to like turn into prom queen. And then shows up Rachel Lee Cook's character, Lainey Boggs, as like the ultimate like social outcast, really into the arts and just really on her own with her and her little brother, lives with her single dad, and like she kind of falls in front of him, and just right there, it's like, that's it. Like, ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner, like out loud in front of her. I was like, damn, that's messed up.
There's a lot of scenes that are like that where 2 people or 3 people are having this conversation, and it's pretty loud, and it seems like nobody around them hears what they're saying.
Well, yeah. Well, just before they pick
the scene
mics are just
the
bad.
scene while
he's
while
talking
she
about
was
a
at
girl
work.
walking right towards them.
Yeah, and also the scene while she was at work and he goes visit her to try to like ask her out, like, and then it starts with this old guy making order. I think she works at like a falafel shop or something like that, and he's like, I don't know what to select. I don't know if I want to supersize the balls or not. And then as he comes in, as Freddie Prinze Jr. comes in, she like steps aside. She goes, hold on one second, because she's trying to get him out of there because she's at work. But then after she steps aside, it's like a 5-minute conversation between him and her. And like, she just completely forgot about this guy.
The guy's like, which I've seen.
But they're also talking.
Seen happen in the real life.
They're also talking like really loudly. Like, it's just like, does nobody else not hear this? And then she goes back to the guy. She's like, oh, did you make your decision? And he goes, supersize my balls. So it's like, who says this?
You know what? Supersize my balls.
I was like, oh my god.
That's the thing. Like,
Classic.
This movie has like that really cheesy charm that they're just like, we're gonna say the most outrageous things because it's gonna be funny, and it's like, it's great. Like, like
what they could get away with the PG-13 back in the day. In the 90s.
At the same time, it's like the movie kind of like knows what it's doing, but it still says its lines in earnest. Like, it's hard to find movies that do that well, even though, like, yeah, this movie definitely has its like other things going on, but basically throughout the whole entire movie, like, instead of Zach trying to just like turn into prom queen just to win a bet, like, he actually like falls for Lainey, and then Lainey has that moment where they're just like, wait a minute, like, let's see what we do, and it's just the classic stereotypical, all we're gonna do is just take off the glasses. That's why I wore the glasses, gentlemen. But like, just take off the glasses. They're like, oh my gosh, she's beautiful.
And cut her hair, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And
It's just and put on the dress, and then like, oh man,
in a slow mo pan from her toes up while she walks.
dude, that's
down the
classic.
With that
Zach,
song
I'm telling you that with the "Kiss Me," that scene is classic because of just how like
it was in every trailer. I'm pretty sure it was in the trailer of the movie with that scene, with the song. Like, that was the song.
No,
of
not
the
with the song. At least the trailer I remember rewatching was not, the song wasn't there.
Okay.
Like, they saved that song just for the movie.
Every trailer,
because the trailer is really
like that you saw afterwards,
not great.
Had it.
Yeah, basically every movie would like lampoon it or at least pay an homage to it. It's that's a really classic scene. Her coming down the stairs, and it is.
Well, when I watched it that first time at Danny's house, and that scene came up, I'm like, watch, they're gonna like do a slow mo when she walks down the stairs. The camera's
Yeah, where do you think they got it from?
Like,
that's
and like not 2 seconds later, it happened. I'm like, yep, like this is like a typical thing for them.
And
for
then
people
the
to do
plot twist happened. It was Dean that was there.
Oh yeah. He jumped to that point in every rom-com where there's a falling out and something bad happens, but then it turns out
that was later in the movie.
Yeah, it's way later. Yeah, I'm saying Danny jumped on over.
Like that one scene was for the party at the guy's house.
Oh, that's right.
And then
that's
prom.
Right.
Yeah,
Sorry,
dude.
the second
Prom
time.
was a different
and that's the part where they pour the drink on her dress and she falls over. She feels embarrassed. Yeah, but like there's all those classic, a lot of classic scenes. But like Anthony and I, again, we've seen this movie so many times. But like
this is the movie
like,
that I think it's one of those movies where in middle school or high school, whenever there was a day off or we had a substitute teacher and they didn't want to do anything and they just put a movie on. It was like either this or Remember the Titans. Like there was like a list of movies that were always put on either in my middle school or high school, and I watched them a bunch of times. I think I've seen Remember the Titans like 50 times.
And like 10 of those were because we were in high school.
Because of school. So like, and this was one of those movies. She's All That was put on a few times in my school.
As an aside, would you believe me if I told you that one time during like I guess like AP exams or something in high school, like we played Anchorman? Nice. Yeah, that was incredible. That I remember like we were all just cracking up because it just like we got to the Steve Carell parts and this is too good. But anyway,
dude,
yeah,
Brick
you would watch
in the RV. Oh
Bring It On was another one that I saw a couple times at school.
Spear Fingers. Yep. What was another one? On driving up to grad night, we saw Napoleon Dynamite. That was great.
Mean Girls have been on that list.
Yeah.
What's up?
I saw Mean Girls at school.
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls. Yeah. What was the other?
The original. The original.
A couple of band trips when we drove up to Orlando. One time we watched Billy Madison, and I remember I was in the bus with my band director, and he's like, "Hey, extra credit for anybody who remembers what Billy Madison plays in the quiz." And I totally was half asleep and I forgot, and I was like, "Damn, he played the clarinet." But I remember
correct.
that was violin. But yeah, I thought it was the violin, but that was the bad guy. That's Bradley Whitford playing. Yeah, so movies in high school, a lot of stuff would just come back. This movie, yeah, with it being like a quintessential high school movie, like you have like all the tropes. You have like the main character, trying to end up bonding with the female protagonist. The female protagonist has the best friend who always has the lingering crush that's unrequited and will never be, reciprocated.
Ultimate
you got that from John Hughes films. You have the main character's odd sister who's Anna Paquin. You have the antagonist. You have the best friend. And some would say, and please don't, yell at me for this, but you have the stereotypical black friend that's usually in a lot of these movies. That was Dule Hill.
That in Not Another Teen Movie.
Dude, they make fun of a lot of the stuff in Not Another Teen Movie. That'll be one that we got to do an episode for because that movie's freaking hilarious. But there's a lot of these things that just culminate. And yeah, it's cheesy. There's even a whole we'll get to some of what I found. Anthony and I know is the cheesiest thing in the entire movie, but there's a lot of really things that it's cheesy, but it comes together and it's a really fun watch to have. So I'll actually pivot over to like Zach. What would you say is like a standout moment in this movie for you?
Like a single stand-up moment?
Yeah. Pick out one.
Any moment.
Ooh. I don't know. I don't know.
If you have multiple, just say the multiple.
Yeah, you just say any that comes to mind. It doesn't have to be a ranked, like, this is the best one.
Or if you don't have any,
Like,
you just say pass. Like,
Yeah, you can do, like, the
'Cause-
pizza scene. You can do, like, the weird play. Yeah, like, the beach scene.
A lot of them
beach scene has everything in common with Top Gun. So, come on. They play beach
But
volleyball.
that was like poor. The whole volleyball thing was like kind of poorly done too. Like it looked weird and awkward in some parts. I don't know. I was like, oh, this is like a Top Gun ripoff kind of scene. I wouldn't say that like the parts that I think of that stood out to me are like big, huge moments, but more like some of the one-liners that you get from some of these characters, especially Paul Walker's character. And then
I wrote another one down.
I mentioned before recording when they were talking about going to that party, and Dean was telling Lainey like, "Oh yeah, you should come over." Like, oh, his parents they've got a big house. They own Harrison Ford, and she's like, "The actor." He's like, "No, the car, the dealership." And it took me a second. I'm like, "Oh, Harrison Ford."
Harrison Ford dealer. I remember hearing that. I was just like, ugh. I remember thinking, I was like, when I was younger, I audibly groaned. I was like, oh my god, of course.
So there was.
It took me a second to remember, like, wait, that's right. Like, a lot of dealerships, especially Ford dealerships, are names. Like, here in Miami, we have, like there's the one in Miami, or sorry, the one in Homestead, I forgot what it's called. I think it's, like, Armstrong. Yes, Armstrong Ford.
Why do I know that? That's random, but yeah. That's not a plug for Armstrong Ford, by the way. Unless they want to pay us money. Yeah, go ahead.
So I was like, Harrison Ford. That's clever. That's too good.
Plus,
he's an idiot.
Yeah, plus he's an idiot. Yeah, he's also an idiot. Like, I was like, how do you make a bet with an idiot, like an actual idiot? Or like when the beach scene, we're just like, I don't want to be on your team because no offense, you kind of move like a girl. And Lainey's like, well, I am one. Like,
you
what do you
run
expect?
like a girl. He's like, I am a girl. And
she's like,
It's like, I don't understand what you mean.
Yeah, it's just like she's like the one making the most common sense out of like almost like most of the cast, and they're just like, what? That's just what it means to speak to intelligent people, and they just like break down.
I don't remember when this occurred, but another line that I wrote down from Paul Walker was he was talking about Freddie Prinze Jr. I think this is already after they like started the bet, and so he's like asking him for like updates, like, so how's it going? And I think he said like, you're busy wigging, man. Major wiggage. Like,
major wiggage?
Major wiggage.
Oh, no. Freddie Prinze says that to Lainey. No. Zach says it to Lainey when he goes over to her house. I thought it was
Paul Walker.
Yeah, because it was after.
Okay. It was like
the night before.
His way of saying like she's flaking, right?
Yeah, because she left that night. Yeah.
Okay.
After he gave her a compliment about her eyes.
And she just left.
That's when he said major wiggage.
Or what was the other?
So 90s.
What was the other like? There was a thing. I think I don't know if it was when Lainey was like kind of mad about something, and she's like, "Oh, screw the Dolphins," and then Jesse tells us like, a guy tried that last year, banned from SeaWorld for life. And it's like, that's a throwaway comment. You're like, are we gonna dive into that? Like, are we gonna do anything here? Like, what's up? That was freaking so stupid. Or the like how Lainey's brother's just going around like grinding actual pepper for people, like as a straight up service, and they're out here trying to clown on this kid. Like, come on, dude. Like,
yeah, that was the whole Pew Pizza.
Ugh.
Oof.
Yeah, that Pew Pizza. Which then Zach showed up and he's like, "Nah, you out here giving my friend here a hard time. Maybe you should eat this pizza." And like you saw, they didn't want to step up to Zach at all. They were just like, "Oh no." Like, oh, I guess I'm going to have to eat this pizza. Like, yeah. They knew, but they still went along with it. I was like, oh, this guy feels like, oh, it does do it. Eat it. Like,
and then,
I mean, I would have been like, no. I would just not eat the pizza.
Throw it away.
No.
Like, I feel like if there was going to be a fight to break out in that like cafeteria, no one would have done jack. Like barely any adult supervision at all. But then again, you're like an affluent part of like whatever was that California town or whatever it was. But
I mean, it was
like there should have been points where like, man, like in the real life, like there would have been fists thrown, like in some situations.
The real
like,
world.
In the real world, no. Oh man, dude, like that's hilarious. Oh, and then okay, can we talk about the funniest thing? How like again, talking about small one-liners. Like, yeah, you have the school DJ played by Usher, who like whenever you have the subtitles on, it's just credited as school DJ or DJ, and like, why as who in their right mind on the over the school PA would be like, yeah, my boy Zach got dumped. You know, he's feeling rough because he just got dumped. I'm like, damn, dude, like, talk
Putting
about
him on
like
blast.
dirty laundry.
Hey man,
Yeah,
he's
like,
like one of the most popular kids in school. So
Who, Usher?
no, Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah. At the same time, who's gonna be out here like putting all that like I have problems with the school DJ.
He's just repeating what they're saying in the streets. That's all he's saying. That's all he's hearing.
Told him to do that though. Like, in fact, where's the faculty to be like, homie, you're not supposed to do that.
I don't
Like,
think they showed any teachers in this movie.
I think you're right.
Not even at the prom. I don't think there was any teachers or principals or anything in this movie.
There was
They're all
one
old enough to
teacher.
be teachers.
There was one teacher who was the art teacher who told
Oh,
Lainey
that's right.
about,
That's right.
about submitting like the picture or whatever it was.
And then whoever
Whatever's brought this out of you. Yeah, you know,
And
Danny.
I'm pretty
you know what
sure
I'm
the
talking about.
principal was the one that announced the prom king and
yeah,
queen
whoever.
also.
Okay,
announced the
so
prom king.
two adults aside
And then-
from like the parents in this movie.
And then the one older lady that kissed Zach on the cheek when he got the crown. That was it.
Who's that?
I don't know,
Like
probably
some
like
other teacher,
a
probably.
like an
Lady who
assistant
gave the
principal
crown.
or something.
And prom queen is Taylor Vaughn. And then they're like, yay, look, we did it. And he's just like, ugh, this is annoying.
Part
Yeah.
of me wanted to scream, "She doesn't even go here!" But that's another movie. That's another movie.
Every time. She doesn't even go here. The best. I love that. Dude, Anthony, I need to know, like, what were some of these other, like,
Well, does Zach have
one-liners and notes you
any
have?
more funny moments or favorite moments?
or when Preston gets caught looking at Katie or Gabrielle Union's boobs and he gets smacked with the volleyball?
yeah, she was fixing her bra.
And
Or
he's
her-
just like,
her bikini top.
smack.
You also have the hacky sack scene.
The poetry reading with the hacky
Yeah.
sack. Be silent to be still.
Hacky sack.
And then he's like, hacky sack.
Yeah.
And he's like, can't fail. Or I don't know what he was saying. But
Zach,
Yeah, his
everyone's
spoken
counting
word.
on you.
Yeah, which is wild because it's like the whole soccer thing, and that's the whole idea. Like, wow, like it was the little moments like that. Like we clown on it a little bit, and we have some fun, but like
that
there's
was, like-
actually like character for him. Like he's vocalizing and finding an outlet for all the pressure that he's dealing with, everything the pressure from the school, from his dad, like the pressure, even like almost let out the whole pressure of the bet thing. And that was cool because that vulnerability like opened Lainey up to him to see like Zach is not just the popular guy in school. Like there's substance behind that. It's pretty cool. Like little moments like that.
I have one line here when they were at the party, this guy's party, and after the whole her getting dressed up and the whole song bit and everything, they go to the party, and then as soon as they walk in, Gabrielle Union comes up to Lainey and she's like, "Hey, you look great," and then she's like, "There are amazing twins over there. I think they're Costa Rican."
twin.
And then she goes, she's like, "Can I borrow her for a minute?" And he's like, "Sure." And she goes, "Gracias, papi," and then like walks away. It's like, what a weird entrance to this party. It's like, I don't know why I always remember that the "Gracias, papi." It's like, oh my god.
Oh my god. That was like, that's the preview before, she had to come down and deal with stuff in Miami.
Yeah, man,
I cannot believe.
What was
My
it?
God,
There was another one, I think. Was it the scene that Taylor got dumped and she was like crying? It was either that scene or another scene that Taylor was talking with Zach. And
Oh, she says some wild
she
stuff.
goes, "Jump up my ass, Zach."
Yeah, he's
And
like,
I was like,
been there,
what?
yeah,
done
that was
that.
at the
And
party.
I was like,
That was at the
damn.
party.
What is it? Like, okay, out of context, if you're just going to tell somebody to jump up my ass,
He's like, I already did that.
yeah, been there, done
I
that.
was like,
I
man,
remember
it's
that.
PG-13,
Yeah.
guys. I was like, damn.
Yeah. Jump up my, like,
he's like, speaking of
Jump
asses
up,
bouncing.
like, is there like I don't know. Like, I think Danny's mind is going to like the boys or something like that. It's just like, that's what I could think of. Like, it's what does it doesn't even mean anything.
Because that was at the party. They hadn't broken up yet. But I forgot
it might have been her like
context was.
complaining about the tattoo.
No, I don't think so.
She was complaining about
remember.
something, and then he was like, "You just gotta relax." And she's like, "Jump up my ass, Zach."
That's
I don't remember.
It's like what was it? I think it was like Election or something, where there was a movie someone said like, "Oh, get bent," or this like, like there's like old slang from like from those kind of like movies that, again, from like the 90s, like but Clueless, like if you ever watch Clueless has like all like the ultimate like California like slang from that, like the as if and whatever and stuff like.
As
What else? Yeah, we talked about
Her little brother like wanting to like always play Sega. He's like, "Hey, you want to play Sega?"
I think like oh yeah. Kira Culkin is like, "Want to play Sega?" And we're like, "Yeah, what do you got?" Like,
Guess he's talking about
Like,
the
they-
Genesis. He's talking about the Genesis.
yeah. Did
hold
he
on.
ever mention what games?
Hold on, what movie?
Or is it
Well, not what movie. What year did this movie come out?
99? Maybe it
But
was
what month? What
Saturn.
month? No, what month?
What month, dude? Okay,
Because the Saturn was out by that time, but the thing is, the Dreamcast came out
It came out
99.
January.
Oh, so the Dreamcast didn't come out yet.
No, it didn't come
So
out.
he was either talking about the
99.
Saturn or the Genesis.
Oh, if it was Saturn, then yeah. Like, what are you gonna play? Nights into Dreams?
Yeah, there's like 3 games, but
There was 3 games for the Saturn.
Anyway.
And then like, yep. Well, but we digress. Yeah, dude. Like the whole like subplot where like she dumps Zach for Matthew Little's character because he was on Real World. Like, that's just
His scenes, like,
is-
showing the scenes from Real World.
and he's like
were
always
like,
watching
what?
himself.
yeah.
Here, watch this. I get
He's like,
emotional here.
Wait, watch.
He was making it sound like look how I acted in this scene. It's like
Yeah, like look at
like
this
he's
part, this
reviewing
part.
his
It's-
acting. It's like, what? Weren't you just not supposed to be acting? Like you were just being yourself.
Yeah,
his
it's
crazy
just gonna be in the real crazy world. It's like that's why you got kicked out. Yeah, like you could never in those shows like Real World and stuff. You could never put hands on people because then that's an automatic kick out.
Hands
But,
as in fighting.
Yeah, like
I'm sure people
actual
put
fight.
hands on other people.
Oh boy, yeah. There's other types of hands getting put on hands, but hands getting put on people. But that probably led to other things that weren't fighting. Anyway, speaking of leading into other things, yeah. Overall, like you have that whole like shock reveal of no, I was a bet. Was I an effing bet? And then the whole fallout of it. And he tries to win her back at prom, and that's when we find out that like he has to try to find her because of the whole he has to take her to a motel. And that's also when, like...
Oh, because she went to prom with Paul Walker, right?
With Dean, yeah.
The
And
plot
then
twist.
Zach, I think,
'Cause
went
she
by
was bad,
himself? Did he go by himself?
Yeah,
I
he-
No,
forgot.
he went with the sister.
He went with,
He
his,
went with
sister.
his sister, that's right. And that's when his sister's like, basically, yeah, go to an all-girls school. And he starts smacking it with Jesse. It's my boy. Good for him.
Mighty Ducks.
But-
right.
Bash Brothers. Anyway, we have to get to the prom because I'm pretty sure my theory is that everyone in the senior prom took an elective in a choreographed dance class because there's no way in a school where the entire school is gonna go, hey guys, let's all break out and dance to this whatever beat mix that Usher made.
Fat Boy Slim.
There's- Oh yeah, it's just the full song of Funk Soul Brother, or no, sorry, Rockefeller Skank. Yeah, that's the name of the song. I remember watching that, and it's just so bizarre because it's like, yeah, like who
He's like,
did
you
this?
guys know the dance to this one, and then he puts the song. I was like, how do they know the dance to this one? The whole school, like it wasn't just like a couple people. It was like everybody danced to this.
dude, that scene, Danny, like that must have been like again, like your girlfriend's like, let's watch a rom-com. You're like, is this the comedy part? Like, or is this like the super scary part of it? I don't understand.
Like what's happening? How is this a thing?
Yeah, there are a lot of questions. Like, when did everybody get around to rehearse this? Like, again, there are people who probably, if because of their social cliques, do not like each other. Yet they all got together to choreograph this freaking dance.
I mean, I guess that's what
Think
happens
about that.
when
I don't.
social media.
No way, dude.
That's why
like,
people don't know dance moves anymore.
well,
Even though
or they
there's
do know dance
TikTok
moves
dances.
and they just TikTok them. That's why they're shorter, because they can't do a full like 2-minute sequence that they would use in a movie to some Fatboy Slim, because it's way too complicated. And again, my question again is the social dynamics. How are you getting all these different social cliques in there to do the prom? Maybe like the outfits and misfits and outcasts like never went to prom. Yeah, like there are a lot of questions. I didn't even know that. Like it's just there's something, man. My gosh.
I wonder if like anybody's prom was like that, or I wonder if people tried to reenact that in another.
Oh,
prom.
you know, by like 2001, like 2001, like 2002, people probably try to do it as like a prom like thing. There's got to be like, I know like Danny, I need you to look that up. Like, there's got to be video of people like recreating that dance and probably doing it poorly because again, someone might have spiked the punch.
So, wow. I can say for a fact that my prom was not like that.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's. That's my point. I don't think anyone's prom was.
I
like
mean, my
that.
prom had a DJ, but there was no song that everybody knew to dance to unless it was the electric slide,
Slide.
or or what do you call it, the
Cha-cha slide.
yeah.
Or
At that point, did we have Cha Cha Slide by 2005, Anthony?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Okay. Yeah, there's Electric Slide, Cha Cha.
and
Yeah,
there's the
that's all
other
we
one.
had.
Oh,
There's another one.
It's like to the right.
isn't that the
called?
cha-cha slide?
No, that's a. I don't know that song. Yeah, I know. I know which one Zach's talking about. That's like every
Yeah.
party song now. Again,
Usually, it's like they play those back
Cupid
to back.
Shuffle.
They'll do the cha-cha slide.
Cupid Shuffle.
Yeah, Cupid Shuffle. They'll do cha-cha slide and then Cupid Shuffle right back to back.
it's
'Cause
not
every party that
Rockefeller
my family
Skank.
has, they do that. But
No,
It's not
Rockefeller
Rockefeller.
Skank is the song that Christopher Walken's in the music video.
Is it? So then what was this? What's this? What's the Funk Soul Brothers song called? Right about. Like, is it really just?
Maybe it's called Right About Now.
It might be. No, actually, it's just Funk Soul Brother. There you go. But
I don't know that one.
Not Super Brother.
Super Brother, dude, that's a going into like late.
No, Jack
you
Ryan
know,
Radio.
two-
Yeah, I guess it's
Yeah,
just
it-
called Funk Soul Brother.
No, I think it's the Rockefeller Skank. I'm pretty sure it's the Rockefeller Skank.
The song in the movie.
No, it's not. Rockefeller Skank is a different song.
All right, we have to settle this bet. Like we have to settle this.
There's
bet.
no bet. It's two different songs.
The song in the movie.
Rockefeller
is
Skank is the song
What-
where the whole
what's
music
the song
video.
in the movie?
Rockefeller Skank is the one in the movie.
Oh. No, the one that Christopher Walken is doing is another is a different Fatboy Slim song. That one is a Weapon of Choice.
Ah, okay. So then
Yeah.
I'm all wrong, and yeah, I guess this
You
one
got it all
is.
twisted.
And she's all of that.
Dude, we should have frat
She's
bet
all
that, dude. Anthony, we should have frat bet
For some
that.
reason, I thought I got Rockefeller Skank confused with the other one.
That's okay. Moral of the story is Fatboy Slim is awesome.
Yeah.
Listen to Fatboy Slim.
Make sure you know the moves. Make sure you know the moves.
Because you all know it. Because you all know it. That was that only person. Like that. Okay, can we talk about Usher's character? Like that's all he did was just like
He was the
live
announcements
on the
guy.
PA.
Yeah.
But that's all he did. Like I want to know more about that character. Did he? What classes he took? What were his elective? Was it?
Well, he
just,
took.
Like
He just announced stuff.
no, and he was obviously a dance choreographer because he's like, you all know this one because how would he verify that they all know it? Why? Because he taught them to dance.
He must have been a good
Probably
DJ.
the dance teacher.
Yeah, he must have been a good DJ because he just did the halftime show. So, I guess what
Yeah,
he
but
would.
he didn't spin the chain around his neck, so it was automatic, like not top tier. But it was saved by Ludacris
To
and
go
Lil Jon.
from
And Alicia
high
Keys.
school
Alicia Keys.
DJ
was-
to Super Bowl.
He did it.
Pretty
Usher
good.
Raymond did it.
He's-
That's pretty good.
School DJ.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't know the moves, but at least we can all say that in the end, Zach had it bad for Lainey. I had to. He had it bad. But yeah, like,
I don't know if that song came out by the
Yeah.
time this movie came out.
And what's really funny is, remember, the whole bet was that, like, she needed to be prom queen, and Lainey ended up not being prom queen,
So
which,
he lost.
you know, was like she lost. So then he lost the bet. And what was the consequences for losing the bet?
I don't know. I don't
I
remember.
don't know.
Were there any?
You don't remember?
No.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
He had to get his
Oh,
diploma
okay, yes.
naked.
Yeah.
He had to watch.
He went out there buck naked. Dude, again, no way any school would have been like, all right,
No.
here's a diploma.
You wouldn't get that far.
My guess is that he probably was clothed
Yeah,
when they
and then
went
he
to go
took it
sit
off.
down. Then he went commando.
No, that's not commando. That's like stark ass naked.
But it doesn't even
Like,
matter
that's
because
full Monty.
then when they called his name, he was, and then he threw the ball to her, so he was wheeling and dealing the whole time, walking up to get his diploma.
I mean, but at that point, I don't think that's anything that she wasn't familiar with at that point, because, you know, they had their kiss me moment.
And then
But-
he tossed the soccer ball that was covering his.
Right,
Covering
that's
his
what I'm
stuff.
saying. That's what I'm saying. He was
Covering his goalies.
his super sized ball.
Supersize my balls. Dude, okay, do you remember when, like, because I guess, like, there was also a scene that when they were doing practice and, like, he was not, like, hitting his shots.
Yeah, he was
I
missing.
forgot, like, yeah, he was missing, and, like, somebody's like, yo, get the game together. And, like,
It was
I forgot,
Paul Walker.
like, yeah, he's like, get your head in the game, or he said something really cheesy. I was like, God dang it. Like,
That's High School Musical.
Yeah.
yeah, that
Zac
is High School
Efron.
Musical.
We're all in this together.
Okay.
Different Zach.
You gotta get you.
But yeah, dude, like, so other than this, like, Zach and Danny, what else had you remember, have ever seen Freddie Prinze Jr. in?
Scooby Doo.
Aside from the obvious Scooby Doo movie,
It's not the obvious.
I want to say maybe one other movie, but I can't remember. It was like a pretty not an old movie, but a movie that came out in like the mid 2000s or almost 2010s, but I can't recall. I'm gonna see if I can try to look it up in the meantime, but I can't remember what else I would have seen him in.
Dang, you never-
I know what you
Go ahead,
did
Danny?
last summer.
There you
And
go.
that came out before
Oh,
this
okay.
movie.
I
That
saw
came out before this movie.
I saw like 20 minutes of that movie.
It was too
You saw
scary.
20
It was too
minutes of
scary.
it. Too scary.
Oh, he was
for
on an episode of Friends, or like maybe a few episodes of Friends, which I do kind of remember.
Dude, you know what I remember? Like, so the same year that She's All That came out, Wing Commander came out, and I remember I was like,
Boy.
"Wham! Mark Hamill's in this," and Matthew Lillard is also in that movie. Like, it's like almost like a weird reunion of She's All That as a cast. And boy, is that movie hot garbage. That is not a great movie.
Wait, was Scream before or after this?
Before.
With Matthew Lillard?
Before. Yeah, because
okay.
how I know what you did that summer is like was sort of kind of be like like slasher movies are back, so we're
They did.
doing this one.
They did the two of them came out before She's All That.
Oh yeah, because Scream 1 came out
One
in
and two.
96. Yeah.
Yep.
And Matthew Lillard is in that one.
And then he's also in Scooby Doo.
Shaggy.
I remember they made a big deal when Freddie Prinze Jr. was in Mass Effect 3. That was a video game. But the most recent thing that I think a lot of people, like, if you're looking at fandom and stuff that he's really in, was, besides Scooby-Doo, was Star Wars, with Star Wars Rebels, playing the voice. Fun fact, he also, I think, I don't know if he, like, wrote on the side or consulted, but he did, like, storylines for wrestling, I think, during the early 2010s, like, in
Cool.
WWE. So he knows a lot about that stuff. It would, yeah, so,
He's
like,
Kanan.
over the years-
Kanan in Rebels.
yeah, man. But he did an amazing job in Rebels. Yeah. He did an amazing job in this movie, too. Yeah, he did, like, this this kind of popular jock dude, but guy has layers. He's able to showcase that, he's kind of having to overcome the pressures of everything pressures of his dad and pressures of his family, and then Lainey being able to kind of break out and kind of, blossom into a whole other person. It's really nice. And while still keeping true to herself.
He was also in a season of 24. If you guys watched that show,
Anthony was really into 24.
that show was badass.
It kind of was, yeah. I remember something with Jack Bauer and like an axe, like a fire axe. I don't know. He did some wild stuff.
He did everything.
He did everything,
Yeah.
all within 24 hours. The following takes place between 12 a.m. and 1 a.m.
He never had to go to the bathroom. He's too good.
It's during the cuts, Anthony. I keep telling you, this is during the cuts.
In real life, there are no cuts. He didn't go to the bathroom.
He just held it in for 24 hours. Or at the end of 24 hours, he went to bed. So, with my last point, I wanted to ask you, Danny and Zach, is like, other than this movie, what experiences do you have with rom-coms in general?
I haven't seen too many rom-coms. Like you have like some of the like more entertaining ones. Like I want to say, I don't know if this would be considered one, but like I Love You Man. I don't know. It's just a comedy, but I don't think it's a rom-com.
It's
Right.
all.
It's a bromcom.
It's a bromcom. It's a bromance comedy. So yeah, okay. So technically, yes. If you could, I would consider it a rom.
It's like borderline, not really
a rom-com in the sense that like he's like Peter, played by Paul Rudd, is getting married to his soon-to-be wife, but like he's also like branching out and making friendships with Sydney, and so it's like that's a very loose interpretation, but I'll allow it.
I don't know what else I would have seen. No, it's not a rom-com. Damn, I don't know. Start naming some because I can't remember. I know I've seen a few.
I haven't seen a
naming
bunch, but I definitely have seen a few of like the classic ones, like When Harry Met Sally, or
Yep, that's like the progenitor. I think one of like the main like progenitors of it.
I saw this one with Keanu, The Lake House.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh, you've never saw The Proposal?
Ryan Reynolds.
That's absolutely a rom-com. What's another one I'm thinking of is a remake of a classic play, even Shakespeare, is 10 Things I Hate About You. That's
That one I
a
have
really
not
good one.
seen.
Yeah, you should write these down.
You were
Zach,
talking about
'cause-
Clueless. Yeah, Zach, you gotta have your list ready whenever
And then
whenever
in terms
Yeah.
of like
time arises.
in terms of like
'Cause
a
I'm-
new one,
Crazy Stupid Love is a pretty good one.
Like I'm like googling this
How
stuff.
to Lose a
and
Guy.
I've
How to
never
Lose a Guy in 10
seen-
Days is also a classic.
I don't know. Or I haven't seen any of these.
There was that
Yeah,
year.
man.
There was that year where
Let's get on it.
the same movie came out twice with Friends with Benefits and No Strings Attached.
No Strings Attached, yeah.
It was like the same movie.
Oh,
but
snap. How am I not remembering this? The Wedding Singer?
Pretty much all of
50 First Dates?
all of
Okay, 51st
or
Dates,
most
yeah.
of Adam Sandler's movies are.
Pretty
rom-coms.
Woman is also like an ultimate rom-com. If you're going through lists, I mean, Danny, I know you're going to mention one that's very recently that just came out.
oh yeah, Anyone But You.
Yeah, Anyone But You. What the other one? The other
No
one that
Hard
also came out in
Feelings.
2023.
No Hard Feelings.
Yeah, No Hard
No Hard
Feelings. Technically, Crazy Rich Asians. You can consider that a rom-com.
Netflix had one. I think it was Always Be My Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that one's actually good.
Yeah.
I like that one. Let me see. Yeah, I mentioned Wedding Singer, but I really love The
Oh,
Wedding Singer.
40-Year-Old Virgin apparently is considered a rom-com.
Yeah,
Very
it's more of a-
loosely.
very loosely. I think it's more of a comedy, but that is not so much a romantic comedy. Like if you watch 40-year-old version and you watch like The Wedding Singer, you can obviously tell like one is more like romantic
Rom-com.
comedy and one is just like a pure comedy.
Oh, there's Sleepless in Seattle apparently is a rom-com, and
remember
I
laughing
have
at
seen
that
that one. Yeah, I don't
Oh.
remember laughing either.
Dude,
Damn.
Anthony,
Ryan Reynolds is in a
there-
couple, like Definitely Maybe, Just Married. You
Yeah.
mentioned the Proposal already.
dude, two of them that are kind of like modern classics. There's Something About Mary. That one can be more. That's more like rom-com, but like raunchy, similar to like 40-year-old version, but more on the rom-com side. And then you have The Girl Next Door
Yep, that's another one. I remember that
with
one.
Emil
Oh, yeah,
Hirsch,
like the Bridget Jones movies. I
Alicia
guess.
Cuthbert. Oh yeah, the Bridget Jones stuff. Anyway, yeah, we just listed a whole bunch of others, Zach. I hope you're writing these down.
Well, I
But
guess
definitely, like,
I guess
90s,
also-
you gotta watch Clueless. It came out in the 90s, also Wedding Singer. Or no, Wedding Singer came out, I think, in the early 2000s. But, no, I lied,
No,
98.
yeah.
But you should still watch Wedding Singer because it's set in the 80s and it's great.
Never Been Kissed. That's one of them.
Another
Also Drew
another one with
Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore.
I guess another one, if you want to continue, you could watch He's All That, which is the
Yeah, that's the
remake,
the Netflix
sequel.
version.
The flipped remake. Last one, I think I saw that. I looked at this and was like, oh, this seems like a very like loose mix on it, but kind of works too. Is obviously we're talking about teenage ones. We got to talk about 16 Candles. Like again, that's some from the 80s. Like talk about Pretty Woman, 16 Candles, Harry Met Sally. Like that's like the real like progenitor or like the real like pillars of romantic comedy.
There's also like those group movies where, like Love Actually, where it has a bunch of
Valentine's
actors in it.
Day.
Valentine's Day is one of
New
them.
Year's Eve.
But are
Very
those
apropos.
comedies?
Some of them are. I mean, they have
And then
occasional
there's some
fun.
hella depressing crap.
Yeah, there's what is that? Because I know they made I think they made a New Year's Day of one of those.
Mhm.
Yeah, they did New Year's Eve. That one I've seen.
Wow, of all
I don't
those,
know
you
why.
all New Year's Day. You're like, why? Were you on a plane? That sounds like something where maybe you were on a plane.
No, I want to say that I probably saw it on TV. I was like kind of flipping through the channels and I came upon it. I was like, sure. And I just watched it. It was whatever. I mean, it wasn't anything exciting or
There's
noteworthy.
just nothing else to watch.
He's like,
Yeah.
I'm done. Yeah, that's all
I was like,
had.
oh, I've heard of this movie. I'll watch it, see what it's about.
Oh man, Anthony, the 5-year engagement.
That's a funny one.
Yeah,
That's a funny.
That's a funny one. That one has Jason Segel,
Yeah, those are
Chris
like
Pratt,
the
Emily
Apatow
Blunt,
movies.
Allison
Those
Brie.
are
Oh,
Apatow
forgetting
movies.
Sarah Marshall.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Yeah, dude, you've seen
I've
that
seen
one,
that
Zach,
one.
right? Yeah,
seen that one
dude.
a few times.
You see? You've seen more than we expected. I like it.
There was
Oh.
one that I was just thinking of, but now I can't remember. I forgot.
Going
It'll
the
come-
Distance. Justin Long and Drew Barrymore.
Wow. That's an
I
old
have
one.
not seen that one.
What's this other one? Oh, no,
I
that
have
was
no
I know
idea.
for sure. Okay. Anyway, while he's remembering that, I would say in the end, Danny, I don't know if you wanted to kind of like give your overall like impression of the movie, if you want to rate it, like 10 out of 10 soccer balls or no, what would it be?
Oversized?
Yeah, 10 out of
Supersized.
10. Yeah,
Supersized ball.
yeah, like how many falafel
size
balls would you?
like, sir?
Yeah. And like Rachel Lee Cook's deliveries, it was just like classic. Like
He's
Like
just
she
not
seemed like
into
out
you.
of all the characters, out of like going back to She's All That, like out of all the characters, like I guess like Zach to a certain extent kind of seemed kind of real again because like like you can be a smart jock but obviously still be kind of like a dismissive douche in some regards, but like Lainey seemed to be like to me feel like the most realistic character. I was like they try to like over exaggerate her like plainness or awkwardness, but I was like, that just seemed normal to me. Like, it seemed like a normal like person in high school, like at least from my high school experience. And so it was like that was the one thing that if you're gonna do like comparing to like what could be like, she seemed to be like the most normal person. Like definitely like if you're gonna say like was quote unquote weird, you would say maybe more so her brother and her best friend Jessie maybe had like her more on the awkward side. But I don't know, like. That is, I'm also just maybe biased because I had like the biggest crush on Rachel Lee Cook when this movie came out. The biggest crush.
How big?
Super
Exercise.
sized balls big.
Size balls.
Super sized balls big. Damn right, I'm going to say that out loud. But yeah, Danny, back to.
You just found out she's single, so.
Whoa.
I think she's been divorced for like 3 years now. 2-3 years.
It's time, gentlemen. No, it's. But anyway, no, she does great
Has
work.
come.
Yeah, she's. So have I.
But yeah, I'd say
Oh, Devil May Cry reference. But anyway, yeah, man. Back to that, like, yeah, your overall impressions of the movie as someone who like got dragged, like digitally dragged to watch it with your girlfriend.
I mean, I had a lot of fun with it. I mean, we were all watching it together, so we definitely had a lot of laughs, and definitely very 90s cheesy, which I guess looking back at it now, it's like I could appreciate.
Yeah, it's
like some of these jokes.
It's that right amount of flavor. Yeah.
I feel like definitely if I grew up watching this movie or I saw it before, I feel like I probably would have seen it a couple times. Like just to have in the background, like, or whatever. Obviously, it's not.
Especially for like those iconic scenes.
Yeah,
like the iconic like
Paul Walker.
The walk downstairs.
Yeah.
Paul Walker, man. It's great. Like I don't know if it was like his early acting and he couldn't deliver the lines, or he was so good at delivering those really cheesy lines that he just knew that like, oh, this is the right amount of emphasis I'm gonna add in these points here, because man, like there's again that beach scene is like, check out the Bobo. Like then how would
Check out the Bobos on Super.
I'm super. Didn't he get like Fast and the Furious? What, 2 years after this?
2 years after that,
Nice.
dude.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Don't worry about it, cuh.
We're back. No, it's Too Fast, Too Furious. Too fast.
Like because he said that,
I would
We
say
hungry.
that
It has
his
to be
lines are huh?
it has to be improvised.
We hungry.
I have no idea. It has to be because okay, look, like to Xavier's point about if his lines were just delivered that way because that's just his acting, or if he intended to deliver it in just the perfect amount of like in the perfect way. I feel like it was a mix of both.
Yeah, man.
I feel like it was a
I
mix
want
of
to
both
credit him.
given-
I agree. Okay, I'll take that.
Given like when you think about "Don't worry about it, cut," it's like yeah, it was probably,
It was probably
just
both.
how he.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like-
stupid, but it's like, yeah, you know what's up. Yeah, you already know.
Like I don't know what to rate this movie. I think obviously it's not like the best movie ever, but like I had fun watching it with you guys, and it definitely has some very hilarious moments. But I mean,
Hilarious, but also iconic. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep emphasizing that point. Iconic.
overall, I'd say maybe like somewhere like a 6.
That's higher than what's on IMDb right now. So good for you.
Yeah, maybe like a 6.
All right. What about you, Zach? Yeah. Any like specific rating or just overall like general thought about the movie?
I do have a rating, but like my general thoughts are like it's an enjoyable movie. You can just kind of flip on if it's showing on TV. Just kind of have it there. You can enjoy it. Again, it's like it's not one of the best ones out there. It's probably up there as like kind of a classic, but I wouldn't say it's one of those comedies that, or even just romantic comedies that you probably think of immediately from 20-ish years ago, give or take. If anything, Mean Girls is probably one of the ones that stands out the most because that one's just wild and out of hand, and it's so good. But that one's not a rom-com, really, technically.
Yeah, it's more like coming of age, like kind of like high school. Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah.
So I would probably give this one like somewhere between like a 6.5. I think like 6.5, close to a 7.
All right. I like
I
that.
mean, I definitely watch it again.
I'll for sure watch it.
So-
Like,
Just
if
for
it's playing
he's
somewhere,
gonna
I'll
watch it
definitely
because he
watch
wants to learn to dance. Obviously,
Obviously.
just right about now.
They were doing some like, I don't know what they were doing, but they were doing some.
But it was in
weird-
sync. I'm telling you guys, like I
The
need
amount
to
of
know
practice that they needed to coordinate like
it was not commensurate to the rest of their academic goals. I'm just saying.
It reminds me of white chicks when they're at the club.
exactly
Yes, exactly that. Good call.
the
Oh
dance
man,
off.
Except it was to Run DMC's It's Tricky.
it's tricky. Hell yeah! Shout out to SSX Tricky, best
Hell
snowboarding
yeah.
game ever. Anyway, so from there you've got our impressions. Anthony and I, we like this movie for it's of its time. It's enjoyable. It's got a lot of iconic moments too.
It was pretty short too. Like it was like just
Hour,
About
An
an
hour
hour
and
and a
40 minutes.
hour and a half, hour 40.
not even
Hour
not even-
35.
with credits. Like this from Netflix with credits, an hour 35.
Look at that.
Yeah, man.
This was
in
this
and
was
out,
supposed
in
to,
and
like,
out. It didn't need
back
to
in
be
the
longer.
day, this was your typical, hey, let's go do a quick movie, and just like, and you got dragged by your partner or significant other at the time, and you like had some popcorn, you giggled, and and you had the wave of emotion, and you had some fun. you weren't expecting to see Citizen Kane or anything, but you went to the movie theater and you had some fun. And, you know, you might get a little message or two here and there. But
yeah, it's fun. It came out at
Yeah.
the perfect time for people my age because it was meant for teenagers, and I think it came out when I was about 12 or 13. So it's like, I think that's when like all the girls who fell in love with either Paul Walker or Freddie Prinze Jr. So it was just like the right movie at the right time for our generation.
That's true.
God, it
and
sounds old.
falling in love with Rachel Lee Cook. Exactly. But she was. But first, it was. I remember her also from that like anti-drug commercial. It's like, this is your brain on heroin. This is your brain on this, and it's just like a frying pan, your eggs, and the eggs are getting smacked everywhere. Yeah, that kind of scared me straight. But from
that
there,
commercial?
yeah. It's like, you should probably, if you haven't seen that commercial, look up the Rachel Lee Cook anti-drug commercial, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So with that segue, we hope you all get a chance to kind of partake and interact with the discussion. If you've seen She's All That, you know, tell us what you thought about it, your favorite moments in the movie. If you haven't seen it, you know, what are some of your other favorite rom-coms, as opposed, maybe some of the ones we had listed out, and maybe some we didn't. But as you've heard from the entire panel, definitely worth a watch, definitely worth getting some popcorn out to and having some fun. With that, gentlemen, we're going to go on to our movie recommendations again for next week. And I believe it's my turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. So I'll make this one short and simple. To celebrate and commemorate, recently I ran the Miami Half Marathon. It was my first ever actual, like, just half marathon event. Very exciting, but pretty daunting. You know, my legs were definitely feeling it by the end. So it kind of, during the run, reminded me of a movie that has some of the best needle drops in all of cinema. Also well acted and well directed film starring a legendary actor. And it's the movie none other than Forrest Gump.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah.
I've seen
I
that
don't
one
know-
a few times.
Yeah, I think we've all seen that one, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Cool. So we can actually have a
And
full
I've eaten at Bubba Gump Shrimp Co. a bunch of times.
You know, I never have. And we'll get into that next week.
Dude,
but
there's
I
one
never
in
have.
Bayside. Come on. There's one at
Have you tried-
Because we're in
Bayside.
Bayside
tried
all the
parking?
time. Yeah. Have you tried
Have
driving
you tried
there?
parking
Oh,
and at Bayside? Like,
I have,
getting
and
to
it's
Bayside.
freaking awful.
Bayside
Exactly.
High, like from Saved by the Bell, or
It's
Downtown Bayside.
all right. No, downtown Bayside in Miami.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll get right into Forrest Gump because there's a lot of cool things that you, maybe Anthony knows, but I think Zach and Danny may not know about Forrest Gump that I'd love to share with you guys about, as well as like what that movie, you know, how it resonates with me and how I, you know, took it, seeing it when I was like maybe 9 or 10 years old when it came out. No, a little less, younger than that, but
Too young.
very,
Too young.
yeah, too young, but still got the message out of it. It was pretty great. So with that, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if you really enjoyed the video format that we've been doing these past few weeks, please share what works and what hasn't. You know, we want to adjust and make it more palatable for you all. But again, we do really appreciate all the viewership and listening on your podcast platform of choice. So catch us always. We're always there on Instagram, Threads, and Twitter. Also X, whatever it's called now. I don't know. But, you know, we always look forward to it. Danny and I kind of run the page. So we'd love to hear from you all. With that, everybody, thank you so much again for tuning in. Catch you next time.